I know everyone's wondering, Woody, how did the procedure go? How's the recovery? Was it a nightmare? Easier, harder than you thought?
God. Shitty. Super fucking shitty. So for people that don't know, I had this little, I think it's on this side, like little spot that wasn't healing. One night I slept in these glasses and I woke up with the small cut on the side of my nose. So I thought, oh, you know, whatever. It'll just heal. I must have slept on my glasses funny, whatever. 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks goes by. It's not getting better. I go to a dermatologist and they're like, maybe it's cancer. And I was like, all right, well, that fucking sucks, but I probably should just do nothing about it and ignore this. So that's what I did. And, I put like Vaseline on it and stuff, and it was looking better. So I was like, probably not cancer, right? What does that dermatologist know about skin cancer? I got to go with my gut.
Some grifter.
and like I said,
dermatologist.
by like putting Vaseline on it and stuff, it looked like it was healing. But sure enough, like 4 or 5 months goes by. And even though it's maybe marginally a little better, I'm like, it doesn't take 5 months for something less severe than a zit to heal. But
it kept reopening on you, right?
It would reopen sometimes. Yeah. Oftentimes by wearing glasses, that it sat right on where the pad is. Okay. So I go to a dermatologist a month or two ago, and they're like, let's biopsy this thing right here. Now it's confirmed. So I set up something called Mohs surgery. I think it's spelled MOHS. And it's better than it's supposed to be better than other alternatives because they can right there at the surgery center test it. So they like scrape it off, test it. Aha. Now we know where the margins are. Scrape it off a second time, biopsy that. And once they get their clean margins and they're happy, they can stop. Whereas if I went to a different surgeon, maybe a plastic surgeon, they'd be kind of guessing. Like maybe take a little extra margin just to be sure they got it all. Whereas these guys can take the minimal amount and make sure they got it all because they can test it right there on site. Yeah. So Zach has this picture. Okay, whatever. All right. So they do the surgery and the hole in my fucking nose is 12 times larger than I thought it would be.
Oh.
I'm like, the fuck?
Compared to a dime.
Yeah.
Roughly the size of a dime.
Holy shit. That was
the whole. And this is the hole they carved, or just the total area that like skin was irritated?
This is the hole they carved.
Holy
the area the skin was irritated would be smaller than
at the end of a pool cue.
Yeah. And then the area they removed was massive. And then they sewed it up. Now these guys are like supposed to be like better than plastic surgeons, specializing on getting like this kind of nose skin and cheek skin to heal. And the fucking shit show that exists under this bandage, like I'm feeling permanently disfigured by this. That when I wrote you on Tuesday, how did I phrase it? I forget how I phrased it.
I don't look well, like, or something.
Yeah, something.
What'd you say?
I don't look well, or I don't feel well, or it doesn't look good, or it was something. I imagined you felt like shit, and there's a lot of swelling. I know what I looked like the day after, and it looked like I'd been in a car accident.
So my forehead is swollen Cro-Magnon style. My eyes are swollen shut to where I can't see out them. I have kind of an Asian thing going on where like my eyelash.
You do look smart
up again. And my iPhone, like, it has facial recognition, is like, who the fuck are you? I'm gonna need your password, dick shit.
We're calling the police.
Like, I just feel terrible. I look terrible. And the scar across the bridge of my nose, I'm like, the fuck? Like, I'm not sure this is going to heal right.
Is it a circle? Like a circle looking, or?
So they sewed it up. But when you sew up a circle, like if you sew up a football, then you can get a nice perfect stitch. When you sew up a circle, you get kind of like ridges, like it doesn't fit right. And I feel like that's what they did. They sewed up a circle. So now it's like a little bumpy because circles don't close.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling awful. And my wife is the most supportive person in the world. She's not saying, Woody, it'll heal fine. No, it's cool. She says, Woody, we will take you to the best plastic surgeons and get that repaired.
All right. Now look.
This is on Jackie. Don't worry about it.
This is a real traumatic thing. So I don't even want to make very light of this, but if you do think there's an issue, I'll tell you. Like, now is the time to go before it has healed up, and maybe get. I wouldn't call it a second opinion, but maybe an opinion.
So I'm a step ahead of you there.
Great.
So yeah. So actually, I haven't talked about it on the show. Maybe I shouldn't. But Jackie is scheduled to get plastic surgery next month. She turned 50. The fuck. She wanted it. She wanted to look better.
Who cares?
My dad's been thinking about doing his neck. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but nothing wrong with it.
She looked in the mirror. Wanted to like what she sees a little more than she does. So that's what's up.
What's she having done? Okay, well, if you're comfortable talking about it.
It's for her face. I forget the names of it. They're not words that I remember, but like eyes and smile, roughly. So anyway, she has a relationship with this plastic surgeon, someone she's had a few consults with, but not under the knife yet. And she sends him my pictures, and she's like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Actually, that looks good to me. That looks like it's healing properly. And if things take a turn for the worse, we'll bring them in." But so that's what the plastic surgeon said.
That's encouraging,
right? It made me feel a little better.
Yeah.
I thought about like bringing pictures. I've been taking daily progress pictures, and I will show you guys. But I was like, I don't know if I want to give the PK audience another attack vector on me. One time, like 8 years ago, I grew like a pretty decent beard. And
I love the beard. The beard.
Right. I grew a pretty decent beard, and then as I shaved it off, I did like lamb chops, this, that, a Hitler stash, and then the beard was totally gone. I used an eyedropper and did like a fake tear, like the world lost a great beard. That picture has been used against me 1.5 million times so far. So, I'm like, maybe I don't upload my worst day again. Yeah. Maybe we'll learn. But if you guys want to see the open wound or anything, I would show it to you. But
sure. My goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's I've got my not today cancer.
Yeah. Okay.
Fighter and survivor.
I love that. You know what? Right. Well, you know what? Can you please start wearing a bandana?
Oh yeah,
like around your full head of hair.
Pretend I've lost all my hair.
You have to. Shave off your eyebrows as well.
Just running into a clinic and like ringing the bell before they can kick you out, like stealing cancer valor.
So we'll see. I feel a little better about it today than I did Tuesday. By the way, thank you guys for gracefully covering the show and being happy to do it for me.
We had a great time. I think we were like an hour and 10 minutes. I guess we got to stop now, but
consummate professionsionals.
Yeah, had a good time.
Yeah, I really wanted to call in sick, and I appreciate you being cool about it. So
of course, anytime. It's what would have been crazy is if it was like we were sitting here, me, Taylor, and Slushpuppy, and Zach, and we were like, "Where's Woody?" And then we got a message from him that said, "Hey guys, I'm not going to make it tonight." That's what Wings does. You have like a pre-existing illness that you notified like a week ago. Like nobody thought a thing. No, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad you got that second opinion, and it's all good.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, like my shit looked awful. Like for so.
What did you have done, Carl?
I don't want to go into the whole thing because the audience has heard this story so many times, but I had cancer right on my eyelid where the eyelashes are. It was like a mole. And they removed the mole, very painful. They have to cut it off, obviously, with limited anesthetic. And then they didn't think it was cancer. They're like, these are never cancer. It's cancer. So then I got to go back, and it's not good enough that they just removed the mole. Now they have to take a pizza pie slice out of my eyelid. And then rejoin my eyelid back together, right? But there's not enough slack in your eyelid, It's just big enough to cover an eyeball the way it is.
You'll have one eye that's just like this
so
all the time, like half closed.
So they have to come over here and make a real big cut from here to my eyelid.
I didn't know that.
And get slack, like extra rope to like stretch my eyelid across. It needed that extra skin from somewhere, so it had to come from right here because it's similar skin. And they did a pretty good job. I mean, there's a scar, but like, I don't know, I had a plastic surgeon, and I was like, I'm a Neosporin guy. Like I always have been. But it healed pretty well, I guess. It was the most painful thing I've ever done. I've had I broke my ankle. Like when it broke, I heard it break. It went pop. It was so loud, I thought I had a compound fracture and was terrified to look down. that pales in comparison to what they did to my fucking eye in that room.
Eye shit is fucked though. Like anything near your eyes. So I've had people be like, "Go and get LASIK surgery." It's like I would rather be fucking fully blind.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Someone
That's nothing to that.
I'd rather be fully blind than have someone shoot lasers into my fucking eyes.
Yeah,
Dude,
those are hit and miss. I've broken every arm and leg at this point, and some of them didn't really hurt at all. My when I got my surgery, the thing I'm dealing with is a scar across the bridge of my nose, and that's the thing that's like fucking with me. I'm like, you know, when you like crinkle your nose and stuff, is it gonna come back in a weird sort of crooked?
I've got a scar right here.
There?
I have a scar like you're talking about, but that skin healed right. It's from getting punched in the nose real fucking hard.
Yeah, I've got one right across the bridge of my nose as well.
Did you deserve it, you Slushpuppy?
Yes. I've never been punched once when I didn't deserve it. Every other time I definitely deserved it.
Why did they think you deserved it?
Me or him?
Drunk. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was coming. I just got king hit by someone randomly. They just they just sucker punch me.
One thing that did go right about the surgery. So I go there, right? Jackie drove me. You don't have to have a driver for this surgery. Consider it on the level of like a root canal or cavity or something. And but Jackie wanted to drive me, and I was cool with it. Cool. So we get there, and I'm doing all this drug-seeking behavior. I'm like, man, am I ever nervous? you got anything for anxiety around here? Anyone?
I get twitchy when I get nervous.
and I was a little nervous, but like I maybe played up. And Jackie's being my wingman. She's like, hey, I'm here to drive him. You should all know he's not driving home. I got this. And, they did give me something, 2 pills to let dissolve under my tongue. And what? Do you know what it was? It maybe starts with an A.
They gave me the same shit. That's all I had for the first surgery. Was I think it's I want to say Xanax, but it's something in that family.
Ativan. Yeah, I think Zach is right. I think it was Ativan.
Okay.
2 grams or 2 pills of
did
it.
nothing.
Yeah. Oh, it did for me.
See, but I smoked so much fucking Delta 8 and stuff. Actually, at the time I was sober, right? Because oh no, I don't know what
it just didn't work for you.
I was like, whatever it was.
It's like a slower release Valium, I think.
That's what they called it. Valium. That's what it was. I knew it was like one of those, like, I don't know, drugs you hear about all the time.
Yeah.
Did nothing for me.
I had Ativan, and like 3 minutes in, I'm like, I think it's doing something. Like one of those deals.
I have a prescription for that stuff, and if you take enough of it, I swear to God, it's like a truth serum. Like I remember standing there like one night while I was drinking, and I'd taken like a heap because I used to be a drug addict.
Because it goes good with alcohol, right?
Yeah, it goes great with alcohol. And I remember turning to this chick, and I was just like, You look like your mother drank a lot while she was pregnant with you.
You get honest, you get mean.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Here you are, like you're mixing pills and booze in high dosages, very judgmental. Like
very judgmental.
Look at this loser.
On the second surgery, they gave me what was it? Whatever they gave me for anesthetic, and I honestly don't remember at this point. Did they give me an IV? I was fucked up though afterwards, and I was in the and I'm driving home. I am driving home, and I did drive home. My car's outside, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm calling the Uber right now. I'm on Reddit. Like, he's on the way. I paid for the super. They're like, good. I'm like, I'm driving myself home, but I was fucked up, and I got real chatty. I remember like talking about myself more than I probably would have if I was sober. I was like, I've been doing this thing for a couple months and nobody knows it. I've been taking steroids. I'm so fucking strong right now. And I'm like telling 3 nurses this. I'm like, I could crush a can of beans with my hands. I'm a child now. I've literally become an 8-year-old who's like the strongest he's ever been. And he wants to, I'm not trying to impress these women. I'm just like, I can crush a can of beans now. It's real cool. My friend Derek, he's like an internet musclehead.
and also, me and my friend Derek, we like to work out. And you're just
it was exactly
like a
like
child,
that.
like hyperventilating. You're so excited to share with an adult who's glanced at you.
It was exactly like that. I was having I wasn't trying to like pump myself up. I wasn't trying to get laid. I was just like telling them about what I was interested in at the moment because I was so fucked up on whatever they'd given me. And it felt good. If that's what, I don't know, name a drug feels like, you could get into that drug. It's like you live in a wonderland of happiness and childlike wonder now.
Yeah,
like
it's impossible to feel.
You know how a kid, you can just go, ho ho, peekaboo, and it like makes their hour. Like the whole hour, that one peekaboo has them like,
that's what it's like. When you take it, you just have like no schedule. It's like, oh, I have to take the bins out. Oh, like I've got trash to take out. Someone else will sort it out. And then usually be like, oh, I better do it. But then when you're on Ativan, you're like, who gives a fuck? So,
I don't want to live on anesthetic.
How did you get prescribed it? Like, it sounds pretty intense.
My doctor just gives me anything. He's weird. He just.
It's a good doctor.
I just say, can I try this?
What's his name again?
Dr. Good Feels.
Yeah, usually get it for anxiety, but it's you'll get it if you say like I have trouble flying and stuff like that. They'll give it to people that have like issues like with like panic attacks on planes and stuff like that. But my doctor just gave it to me, and then he just basically gives it to me unlimitedly. I don't take it much anymore, but it's like if I am freaking out about something, I'll be like, yeah, I'll take one, just relax. Or if I just feel like having a good day.
Like, I have trouble flying. I need an Ativan. Meanwhile, your actual problem is like you routinely forget to put the landing gear down. You can't remember the checklist. It just drugs you, makes you work.
I would really like to take a drug like that before doing something that would actually make me nervous. Like it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm stressed out about bad things in my life. I need this to like ease this anxiety. You're not going to enjoy that drug then. But what if you had to go to a pistol shooting competition, like the Olympic style where you have to do it one-handed and these guys are shooting little tiny dots and you're so nervous that it's making your hand shake. But you take that Ativan or whatever the fuck and you're just like, win or lose, I'm going to give my best. Yeah. And like steady as a rock.
Win or lose, I'm still fucked up.
Maybe you're different. You don't want to blockers, right? Like Ativan.
I know
my wife,
blockers.
They made her leave the room for the actual procedure, right? So she's with me while they're biopsying. She's with me while they're warming up or whatever. But when they're cutting my face, they had her leave the room. I have no recollection of her coming and going any of the times.
Yeah.
So maybe not firearms.
Well, okay. Like on one, I know I've heard beta blockers. I don't even know what those are or what one would be. But I've heard that those are like a performance enhancer as far as nerves go. And by nerves, I mean like my hands shake when I'm like on edge. I get such an adrenaline.
When you're the last guy in Search and Destroy.
Yeah,
literally, like that thing can trigger that kind of adrenaline dump for me. In Tarkov, let's say that like it matters if I live and die. If I'm playing by myself, I don't care. But like, let's say all my friends' shit is on the ground, they're dead. Most of the enemy shit's on the ground. Most of them are dead, and it's me and one guy, and I got to kill him. And my whole team is watching, and his whole team is watching because we're all on Discord together in different Discords. I'm sure there's pressure on. I don't want to. If I win, like 4 guys cheer and 4 other guys cry. It's a big deal.
You know how I bet it would impact your anxiety? Trembling. I bet if you actually did that, instead of it making you like, now I can focus on the task at hand, you'd be like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I win or lose. Who gives a fuck about this loot? I'm going to go. I'm not doing this.
I don't think so. I think beta blockers in particular, I've heard this about Olympic athletes, specifically with like archery and stuff. The things where you can't tremble. You can be trembling and fucking throw a baseball. It doesn't matter that much, or swing a bat or run in football. Well, it might help to have that crazy adrenaline pushing you, like if you're running back. Swimming. But if you're in a precision sport, like something where you've got to like, if you've ever looked through a long range scope and seen your heartbeat make the crosshair go jiggle, 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 like you can't be trembling if your heartbeat's already making the crosshair move. You can't move at all. And,
well, that's what this is for.
Advantage.
It's predominantly used for like fixing abnormal heart rhythms in people.